one day, out of nowhere, she just suddenly turned black.
So one day, out of nowhere, he just suddenly turned orange. I mean, I bet you if you were to take Donald Trump to the Petco or the PetSmart or a pet store and sit him next to one of those little goldfishes, he would be more orange than the goldfish.
He's more orange than Lucy.
Guaranteed.
He wouldn't get adopted either.
He's not housebroken. He shits all over the place. Then he flings it on the walls.
I love that, after all the comments that, Kamala is a DEI hire, they're like, well, is it what Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka are, DEI hires?
What a maroon. So I hope everybody's doing good. Are you guys watching the Olympics?
Oh my God, I've OD'd on the Olympics.
You're OD'd. I know Peanut was watching the fencing earlier when I came in here.
I was checking the other channels that were carrying it also, because not everything's on NBC. And I love the horse jumping and the dressage. I love all the horse events. So I found it on E and taped like 3 hours of it yesterday.
Yeah, I watched the when they jump off the thing and go diving. I watched that. I watched the floor people, because I'm not Simone Biles. I love that girl. Holy shit, she's a girl.
Oh my God. And then her getting on Trump's case, black job. Getting gold medals.
I was watching the men's gymnastics as well. Peanut's watching fencing right now. I couldn't stop laughing about this. I could not stop laughing about the fact that America, the one country that has enough guns to kill its population 50 times over, couldn't even get on the board to get a medal for shooting at the Olympics. The irony. I was like, really? Really? With the gun fetish we have? Like,
I think my favorite thing I watched was one of the Ukrainian teams getting a gold medal. It was so moving.
Yeah.
So many of their Olympic athletes have either died fighting or are fighting, so they're not able to go to the Olympics, but they had a very small team that did go, and they won a gold medal.
That was cool. That was cool. So what else?
Oh my God, that swimmer from France, Marchand, is that his name? He's always like, half a pole length ahead of everybody else. I'm like, that guy, he's another Michael Phelps. But I love, because it's in Paris, I love, the home crowd cheering him on and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, I haven't watched the men's swim. But it's been fun watching the Olympics. This whole thing to the rest of the world, I apologize on behalf of sane Americans for the assholes that are going after that boxer woman claiming that she's transgender. And J.K. Rowling, get fucked. You horrible human being. Like, I can't stand J.K. Rowling. She is unapologetically such a bigot, and
she's got a phobia.
Go after that lady, it's like she's not even from this country. It's like it's gone beyond wanting to control everybody here to wanting to control everybody abroad. It's like, oh my God. I wish she'd go and punch all those people in the face.
The runner from St. Lucia, the first medal they've ever won in an Olympics, that was fun. Watching that, they were showing the watch party in St. Lucia down in the Caribbean. I love watching these small countries that.
We watched the surfing too. We watched bits and pieces of the surfing. Because that's obviously not in France. That was somewhere else. I think in Hawaii was where they were doing it. But yeah, it's And
I'm loving Snoop Dogg being there, and the little clips they show of him, like
him and Martha Stewart. They were at
trying to get him to eat snails.
Him and Martha Stewart were at the equestrian stop. They were both dressed like they were getting ready to go riding, like not like jockeys, but like they were getting ready to ride.
To the nines. He did a thing swimming with Michael Phelps, getting tips from Michael Phelps. He's just been so funny.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg's a character. Thumbs up for Johnny's shirt. Johnny, your shirt. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I tried to unmute. Removes stubborn orange stains.
It's going to be a blue tide.
Oh, surfing is in Tahiti. I thought it was in Hawaii, but
Madam President.
Yeah. So the Olympics have been fun.
What is Scarlett Johansson's husband that's on SNL? What's his name? That does the update tonight with Michael Che. Oh, I can't think of his name. Y'all help me in the chat. He's in Tahiti, and he had a infection from the coral, walking on the coral reef, and apparently picked up some infection and was sick one day. And he was just laying there in a chair. He's like, "Yeah, I'm supposed to be watching the surfing events, and he's sitting here with my foot propped up." Colin Jost, thank you guys. Colin Jost. I hate it when names escape me.
So,
brain fart.
So, any announcements?
Readings. There might be a couple left in November. Otherwise, December is open. JenLynTarot.com. Or if you'd like to purchase a gift card for somebody for a reading, like now would be a good time to purchase one for a Christmas present so that they can get their reading before Christmas. If you would like to go to my healing energy seminar where I work with the astral body back into the physical body, that there's an event at the last weekend of September and another event the first weekend of October in Portland, Oregon. That to register for that, that's also on my website, JenLynTarot.com. Just click on the seminar tab. And there's no need to sign up for the waiting list on it. There are openings still, so you can sign up directly for the seminar. Other than that, I have new toys I've been playing with. Like, will Kamala Harris be inaugurated in January 2025 as president? That's a yes. Mm-hmm. So, like my divining rods, I had some a long time ago and lost them, so got me some new ones. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mara.
Thank you, Mara.
Johnnie, you changed your tarot class dates I saw in your community tab.
I did. I had a couple arm twists from some local people too, that to do one this year. So October the 13th through November the 17th, I believe. If you would like to sign up for the tarot class, just email me, tarotsapprentice@gmail.com. It is October the, whatever I just said, is the first class. It runs for 6 weeks. It's recorded on Zoom. It's $100. You don't have to have a Rider-Waite deck, but that is the one that I teach from, so it may be easier to follow along. It is recorded. What am I missing?
So if you miss a class, you can watch the recording later.
And so, but I'm not taking payments now because I'm still in the process of moving and a whole bunch of stuff. So just in case life says a different thing, then there's that. But we're taking reservations for right now. So if you would like to reserve a spot in the tarot class for October, whatever I just said, I think 13th I said, then send me email, tarotsapprentice@gmail.com. Also, I would like to say thank you to Sue for the necklace that she sent. I was trying to make write a thank you note, but my brain has not been focused on anything as of late, so I'll still get around to it then. Mm-hmm. But there's that. That's the announcement.
And for the person that asked in the chat, Johnny's shirt and my shirt both came off Amazon.
Amazon.
All my petty shirts I wear came off Amazon also.
Etsy has a bunch of shirts too. They have a bunch of even this shirt too. So
I've seen ones like yours, Johnny, but instead of saying Kamala Harris, it says vote.
Yes.
Gets rid of tough orange stains or something like that, or stubborn orange
That
stains.
was the other one.
Mm-hmm. That's
They've
the first
also
one that says Kamala Harris on it, though.
They've got cat moms for Harris.
Mm-hmm. I have a voucher. I have 2 more shirts coming from Etsy. One is the comma sign with law in it, so people can remember how to pronounce the name. And then there's another one that says vote, and it's 4 different symbols. I think like the it's a V with like the rainbow flag in it, and the O, and then there's the T is the like the uterine, and then the E, and so it's like 4 different things there. So I got that one coming too.
Nice.
I loved the phrase "Madam President." It just has a ring to it. Oh my gosh! Did you see on Twitter they were attacking her husband Doug? On his first wife. It's like
that's rich.
Oh my God!
That's fucking rich right there.
That's
rich right there.
Trump cheated on all of his wives, and the last one with two porn stars. 2.
Well, one was a porn star, the other one was a Playboy bunny.
Not to mention raping people.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
I mean, that's rich. Talk about lack of self-awareness. But anyways, for my announcements, people that have emailed for readings, I have replied. Check your emails. If you're inquiring about a reading, please email me at houseoflenormandreadings@gmail.com. I cannot and will not do emergency readings. So if you email me and you're like, I need a reading right now, no, I need to schedule you because I have a full-time job. I'm not going to drop everything I'm doing and ignore my full-time job to answer a couple of questions for a reading. So, but that's all I got. Y'all ready? Yeah?
Yeah.
Elon Musk is under criminal investigation. He started a super PAC just this last week. I don't remember if I saw it on Tuesday or Wednesday, where it looked like he was helping people register to vote online. Turned out it was a lie. It doesn't register them. It just data mines and gives it to the Trump campaign. The Attorney General in Michigan, thank you to Terry Solaris.
It's misleading
because I did not see that. I haven't checked Twitter at all. So thank you, Terry, for sending that. But the Attorney General in Michigan was like,
makes them look like they're registering and they're not registering.
Yeah, it makes them look like they're registering to vote, but it's not. So he's defrauding. So Twitter, from the Twitter handle Mueller, she wrote, posted that he's being investigated by the Michigan AG for potential, for potential defrauding voters. Potentially defrauding voters. Yep. And that article is on CNBC if anybody wants to look it up. So Elon Musk under criminal investigation. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Here's what I don't understand. The guy's a bazillionaire, right? Could he not get a lawyer and talk to them so that they would be like, that might be a felony? You know what I mean? Like the guy that was doing the robocalls, that person got indicted. And then there was 2 other ones. I think it was Wool and somebody else that were trying to trick people into thinking that they were registering or whatever, and they weren't. Those people, so I can count 3 off the top of my head that were indicted.
Isn't it interesting? It's Republican-sided people that keep frauding.
Yeah. So can we see, will he be indicted for defrauding voters?
harvesting off the internet, harvesting, data mining. Yep, he's going to go through some things. That's a big old yes. Here's the investigation because it affects Americans here, and flips things around, and it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. He's been doing something else underhanded for a while too that may come out.
Mm-hmm.
There's evidence about something else that he's done that's like hasn't come out yet. Something sneaky where he's somehow turned people away from voting.
That's an idea.
I blocked Elon on Twitter.
Oh, we got another follow-up in regards to Elon because he threw a little hissy fit the other day. What you got, Johnny?
Same thing. I think it's something else too, because this points in like a different direction. I think here with because remind you, he still wants $1 billion from the federal government, and so the way he would get that is with the orange stain. That's how he wants that money, because he got denied and then he went into hysterics.
I love how when you say orange stain, you point to your t-shirt. Like, wash it out.
Here comes the tide. There is the government, and then there's the lover's card. And so there is something else going on in there that he did. But as far as indicted, I'll say yes. It looks a little shaky, but I'll say yes.
The tower, the dog, and the anchor. Lawyer up, buddy, because you're going to have some legal issues for a while. It's going to be persistent. Lawyer up. So Elon Musk.
When somebody commits voter fraud like that, they should take away their voting rights. They should not be allowed to vote.
Not only that, Jen. Not only that. He is an immigrant to this country. You hate it that much? Pack your shit up and go back to South Africa. Better yet, go buddy with Putin, who you love to ass kiss so much, or Orban, one of those people. Why you got to come over here and mess with us? Get out of here. So he was throwing a fit the other day when white dudes for Trump, or white dudes for Harris, white dudes for Harris, pardon me, did a Twitter stream or whatever and raised a shit ton of money for Kamala Harris, and
had a lot of celebrities on it, like what's his name that played Mark Hamill that played Luke Skywalker.
They raised what, like 4 million, 7 million? It was an insane amount of money. Well, he didn't like that, so he shut down the account, and then a couple days later, it got put back up. So he's obviously throttling with the algorithm. The advocate of free speech sure likes to censure free speech that he doesn't like. So
he's also turned against his daughter that's trans.
Oh, he has gone against her years ago when she came out.
She's been calling him out on Twitter, which is really funny, on his own freaking company.
And she went after him. She told him to go outside and touch grass, which is one of the things the kids say, but and her Twitter response to that was very eloquent. You can tell she's a very smart person, but he's got like 8 or 9 kids from all different baby mamas. The guy's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? It
was moving to Texas to avoid having to pay child support on one of them.
That's not how it works.
Yes.
That's not how it works. I think what I had heard is that he was trying to move to Texas to avoid all the taxes here in California. Because, taxes here in California, we have taxes for a tax for a tax. By the time you get your receipt, there's 30 different types of taxes, So that's what I had heard that he was trying to move to Texas for, was to save money on all the taxes. But I don't know. But what I want to know, since he continues, it appears that he's continuing to mess with the algorithm and suppressing what he doesn't want people to see and increasing the volume on propaganda that he wants to see, even though it is a private company, so I don't think it's in violation of free speech because it's a private company, not the government. But either way, is he going to have legal problems with Twitter the way that he's been running that platform?
Supporting propaganda?
So did you not see what happened to Fox News, homeboy?
Yeah, let's go do a debate on Fox News that still owes $780 million for spreading the big lie.
And they're still waiting on the Smartmatic case, too. Don't forget that one.
Yeah, they sound like just the place to do a debate. They are losing their minds over there.
Legal didn't come up in this. What I got was growth. Is he cannot expand the company, which, there you go. And that affects advertising, which affects bottom dollar, which affects everything else. And so that's what I get is the plans for getting to the higher ground, 10 of wands, in the Ace of Cups. It affects the growth. It affects the new people that would come in. And that includes people who would spend money there. So,
and not to mention, for people in the chat, Elon Musk also has government contracts that we're paying for. And he also has a clearance. Revoke that shit. Revoke it.
I get the exact same thing, Johnny. I'm getting anxious. Him as the boss, people that would come there to tweet and for the plans for growth, they don't come. They lay low. They don't. He doesn't grow. A lot of people separating from it. He's gonna end up having financial problems. I do get eventually somebody looks into it. I do get a yes, somebody looks into it. Do I get an indictment? No, but somebody looks at it. Investigates.
Same thing from Johnny. Growth, man, and then finances. Because when he first took over Twitter and he started letting all the Nazis and stuff on, he lost a bunch of advertisers. And then for a few months, it was, I'm going to charge people to use my platform. I'm taking your blue check marks away. You got to pay for your blue check marks. You don't have to. He fired everybody. It's just, he has no idea what he's doing with that platform at all. It's the rich kid that went out and bought an expensive toy, overpaid for the expensive toy, and he's smashing it into the ground trying to break it. What's
funny is he doesn't seem to be trying to grow, say, the Chinese market where they don't allow Twitter and Facebook and YouTube stuff, we have their TikTok, but they can't have our stuff like Twitter. It's like you want to grow right there. You got 1.6 billion people that you can grow with.
And here's the thing. All the activists and stuff, the young kids where they're organizing, they're not on Twitter. They're over there on TikTok. They're on TikTok. And TikTok is a huge effing platform. And I know that there was that whole thing with the federal government, trying to ban TikTok because of Chinese and this, that, and the other thing. I use TikTok all the time on my personal phone. Here's what I got to say. The only social media websites that got busted for helping interfere in the 2016 election was Facebook and Twitter. So until you can prove to me that they're doing the same thing on TikTok, I'm going to keep using that platform because there's only two that have been found. But anyways, moving on to other stuff. Trump got bribed. Trump got bribed.
By Egypt.
By Egypt. Bags duffel bags, 200 pounds,
of $100 bills,
of $100 US bills, $10 million.
Why didn't he take it in gold bars like Menendez?
200 pounds of garbage bags. It wasn't garbage bags. It said duffel bags, but of $100 bills for $10 million.
That apparently Mueller was onto, because before he left, he passed it off to someone else, and then it got shut down by Barr.
Mm-hmm. Who's surprised? And I was telling Jennie, I was like, that was 5 days before he was inaugurated. 5 days before he was inaugurated. So he hadn't even been sworn in, and he was taking bribes. I was like, imagine how many other countries we just don't.
Well, and they came into the White House like 2 or 3 days after he was inaugurated. Well,
and then he
delivered their bags, right?
And then he took away all the bans that we had and gave them a bunch of weapons and a whole bunch of other stuff too. It's like, I think it was billions of dollars worth of weapons and stuff. And it's like, okay, so they just got all that for $10 million before he was even sworn in. So, and they're saying that the statute of limitations has expired for that whole situation. But the thing is, not Mueller, the AG that's in there right now, what's his name? Garland wasn't able to investigate this. Thank you, Impish, because he was never told about it. Nobody told him that this was a thing. They didn't pass it down.
The woman who took it over, that when it got shut down, they ended up tricking her into getting fired. They said, oh, we're going to promote you to this position. Then they did away with the position. So it was like she was supposed to be moving over to a new position, and then suddenly she had no position. She was out. It's a very sneaky way of getting her out without saying we fired somebody in DOJ.
So the statute of limitations, whatever it is, because I haven't seen what statute they were going after him for, but isn't that like a violation to a whole bunch of other shit? Like, oh, I don't know, the emoluments clause, bribery, like, you know, I want to know, is he going to be held accountable
in any way
for the Egypt stuff? $10 million, Johnny. That was fucking cheap.
Not me.
That was fucking cheap. And that's just one that we know of. Yeah. The other ones, I mean, he did it in front of our face, like he wasn't even trying to hide it.
He started selling weapons to Saudi Arabia again. Obama had gotten us out of that.
Hi, Vicky. Yeah. I see Vicky.
The gold bars are buried on the first hole in New Jersey.
And he resigns.
Maybe that's why the coffin was so heavy. A bunch of gold bars in it.
What-you-call-it was trending the other day. Franken, because it's like, what's his name? Franken?
Al Franken.
Yeah, he was trending the other day. It's just like, Trump gets away with everything. Are you sure this was necessary?
Like the IRS angle, as somebody's talking about in the chat, like IRS, they'll go back and audit your ass for years, decades if they have to. So maybe there's some sort of IRS thing or something they can get him on.
The way that he did it was he took his own money, gave it to the campaign, and then took the money from Egypt and paid himself back.
Yeah, he put it in all his different LLCs.
There are elements of money laundering.
Yes.
In that case.
Yes.
What'd you get, Johnny?
And there shouldn't be statute of limitations, in my opinion, on money laundering.
There shouldn't be statute of limitations on bribing the fucking president of the United States.
At all.
At all.
Somehow or another, roundaboutish way, there is some sort of, we asked weeks and weeks and weeks ago, would he be indicted for anything else? And
It came up in your tableau and mine too, Johnny, that there was new ones.
He's got more charges for something. He'll be in court for the rest of his life. The Ace of Swords, which is clarity and truth, and the Knight of Pentacles, which is the mercenary, the person you hire for a specific task. There's information coming out about that. This is not an indictment. This is information. But an information leads to those type of things. The Justice and the Lover's card. You'll see somebody else go down first. He's got webs of this type of thing. This is his MO. We've seen it time and time again. This person, co-conspirator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's a bunch of that type of stuff, but justice is here, so we will see some sort of court case. I don't know exactly what this is about, because this is not the Egypt thing, but it's something related to it. Why? Because the Seven of Swords is here, and that's the theft and the dishonesty type of thing. So money was taken, money was stolen, money was given to the person who was in charge. There is something too around like satellites, or trying to link something up together, or try maps or something of that nature too, which I got from Becca and the Lenormand. There's something to do with maps or something of that nature too. And it was given to people who were in charge, but not in charge of countries, but like in charge of maybe troop movements or something like that. It happened to do when he was in office here with the Hierophant, and the Temperance is in the word of warning, which means the alliances that you had are what's going to get you into trouble. Because again, the Justice is around the Lovers. So the people you knew, the people you worked with, the people you were in cahoots with, they have something really bad going on with them, and then they indicate you all at the same time. Now, we know this is probably going to take the next 40,000 years, but at the same time, it is still here. So, there.
Yes, Mary Lou, Egypt was the one that Menendez just got busted for with the gold bars.
He's out.
People. Mm-hmm.
So I've got Temperance at the root of this. Spirit would not say, be patient, if nothing was going to happen. I would get a blocking card like, nothing's going to happen. Be patient, because something else is going to come out about this. There's going to be a whistleblower that will be returning to this with the Judgment card here, and the Tower is on him. Somebody in the government is not accepting this, and they've got the tools to look at it in a different angle. So whether that's taxes, I'm getting money laundering, gifts of money, so maybe emoluments clause. There's
FEC violations too.
Yeah,
because of the money. They're not supposed to take foreign donations, but he did.
He thinks it's over. No, that's going to change. Justice will prevail. So it will get revisited, but maybe in a little different way, with a little different twist.
The Tower, the Sun, and the Fox. Yes, there's going to be an investigation that has a lot of energy behind it. Official energy and then investigation. But it's around fraud. Corporate fraud, legal fraud, fraud of some sort.
Bank account fraud, banking fraud.
Money laundering, but there's fraud. See? So I get a yes on that one. So staying on the orange shit stain, I want to be petty. I want to be petty. I do not trust the polls. I do not.
Are we over petty? We don't get petty.
I do not trust the polls at all. If there is one person that I really have faith in, it's that historian, I can't pronounce, I forget his name, the one with the 13 keys.
I just watched him, the video on that.
He has been on the money in every single election. Even the one with Bush v. Gore, because he had it going to Gore. The only reason Bush won that election, because nowhere in the 13 keys that he have in there that the Supreme Court would step in, stop the count, and give it to Bush. So with the exception of that one, which, let's just be real, the Supreme Court stole it for Bush. Okay. That Alan Lichtman, thank you. Alan Lichtman he has gotten every single one right. He had Joe Biden winning against Trump, even though the media was like, he had Joe Biden winning. He hasn't come out and officially said that he has Kamala winning, but as of the other day, she's got 7 of the 13 keys, according to his system. The polls are stating that Kamala Harris has a 2-point lead in every swing state except Georgia, which I don't see how that's fucking possible, in like another state where she doesn't have the lead. What?
It was interesting too, because he did say that Biden would have beat Trump if he had stayed in the race.
Yes, he had the 13 keys, and he did a video where he was really pissed off. He's like, these media pundits and all these people, they always make predictions. They always get it wrong. They don't know what they're talking. I posted it on my community page when he was going off on mainstream media when they were trying to push Biden out. So I put my faith behind that guy because he has a flawless track record, period. You know? So I want to know, even though, like I said, I do not trust the polls. The polls have been consistently wrong since 2016, but as of right now, it shows Kamala Harris with a lead in all the swing states except Georgia and another one. I can't remember, it was North Carolina or something else, and Florida, I think, too. How does Trump feel about seeing Kamala Harris's poll numbers?
In his half-empty stadium that she filled 2 days before he was in Atlanta. The lieutenant governor of Georgia has come out against Trump, and Trump attacked Brian Kemp, the governor, and his wife.
Brian Kemp?
Trump attacked Brian Kemp and his wife. Brian's still endorsing him because he's like Ted Cruz. Attacked my wife, and like he said nicely, like, you shouldn't be attacking my family. And it's like, well, that's more than Ted Cruz did. Ted never said boo about attacking his wife. Wife ugly.
And I think as of the other day, the polls finally had Kamala Harris winning the Electoral College. But like I said, I do not trust the polls. So just pretend the polls don't exist and get your asses out to vote, you know?
Well, and we know he's got, in all the swing states, fake electors lined up already.
Oh, I hope that they got their bags packed to go to prison. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I think even the Fox News poll had him down, if I remember right.
What'd you get, Johnny?
Very sad.
Loser Trump.
Very sad. He can't. Any little thing, mind you, bothers him. Any big thing keeps him up all night. And the fact that this person who was black overnight, apparently, is beating him, and it's a woman at the same time, and it's a woman he can't control at the same time. This is not boding well. Mind you, their entire campaign was built to take on Biden. And now all of a sudden, pull out the rug, and then he's all spinning into a dimension of crazy he's never been in before. So he's going to stay there. She's going to be a thorn in his side for the next whatever months. So
how does he feel about her taking the lead in the polls? Like Gaga?
Very sad. Mm-hmm.
Loser.
Oh my God. I bet you that lady with the printer that he hires to just give him good stories is like on overtime.
Hey, that's the one card on Fox News when they did the tarot reading that the lady pulled out for Trump. He's working together with other people on this to try to move votes and change things. So, everything was good in the past, but he's looking to shift votes. So he's working on his fake electors. He's working with his supporters, talkings, meetings, emails, phone calls, whatever. It's not going to work, but he's working on a plan with the big lie too. to promote the big lie again.
For those that are worried about the states not certifying the votes, Mark Elias just did a video last week with Brian Tyler Cohen, and he's been on MSNBC as well. This is the same thing they did in 2020. They refused to certify. The courts had to step in, force them to certify. A bunch of people got fucking indicted. Like, you're going to go sit in trial and possibly be found convicted for the shit you're pulling. And he's going to do it again. So it's not like they got smarter and figured out. It's the same thing.
It was a dress rehearsal.
This time they're just trying to do it in smaller towns to not certify the whole state. But when they take it to court, they're still going to have to fucking certify. And if they don't, they get indicted. So I hope you have your bags packed to go stay in prison for Donald Trump, who's not going to win the election, and there's not going to be anybody to pardon you.
Yeah, so instead of sending fake elector signed things, to Congress, they're going to try to stop the certification within the state by these small counties and stuff not certifying.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. The votes still get counted, period. So how does he feel? I pulled a line of 7 because it ended here. So the coffin, the storks, the ship, and the woman. He's very depressed. He's very depressed that Kamala Harris is pulling away from him in the polls and leaving him in the dust. See that? See that?
He's in the dust.
He's in the dust. He's dead. She's pulling away from him. Tree, dog, and fish. She is growing loyalty and support in abundance. He doesn't have that. So he's kind of, don't cry too hard. You might ruin your orange makeup, Donald. That's all I'm saying.
So can we ask these fake electors that are setting up the states to not certify? I'll
set this one out because it was in the GT.
Will it end up going nowhere? Will it end up getting resolved and the states have to certify?
Oh, so she's got 8 keys now? Unless something happens in less than 100 days, Trump is fucked with a capital F. And I'm here for it. I am here for it.
It's funny because JD Vance came out and said something about birthers, people that are considered citizens because they're born here. It's like,
that would be me. He's calling me a birther.
Well,
anchor baby is what they used to call me back in my day when I was growing up.
Let's look at Melania, and who was pregnant before she got her citizenship. So technically, Barron is a birther because his mother was not a citizen yet.
They used to call us anchor babies.
Yep. So he wants to kick Barron Trump out of the country.
What'd you got, Johnny?
Yes. Anticipation, sticking to it, and it's going by the rules, going by the system type of thing. So, yes.
See, there's a lot of anchor babies in the chat. Thumbs up for anchor babies.
Yeah, it's I get it'll be secure and completed, but there's going to be a lot of surprises that come up because they're going to lay low and not certify in some of the states. It's going to cause a lot of disruptions in the states. But we've got strength in the law on our side. So I get it will get certified. All the votes will get counted. And those that betrayed, there's plans. You're probably going to end up going to prison.
In Trump's tableau, on the horizontal line that shows the woman that I read as both Eileen Cannon and Kamala Harris. The woman has all of the energy. The way that she sits in the court, Trump is the bear, which is power, strength, control, followed by the cross. So his power suffers, followed by the sun, optimism and energy, and then the man, but then he's followed by the clouds. He's fucked. He's done. There's no optimism. There's no energy. He can't get back into power. He's unable to control the situation because the rug got pulled out from under him. And when you follow the woman on the horizontal line across the GT, it's the woman, the sun. So she has the energy and the happiness and the joy. And then it's the letter in the House of Mice, followed by the scythe. So there's going to be some fuckery where they're going to try to steal votes from her or ballots and cut off the count. She still wins, but there's indictments around that team of people that are stealing or taking away votes from her. So because it sits in the House of Mice and the scythe is next to it, that could be literally like destroying ballots, destroying them, ripping them up. So
thank you, Suzanne.
Of more indictments.
Yeah. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Suzanne. So JD Vance just took his whole family and chucked them under the bus.
He's like Ted Cruz. I tell you, he's Ted Cruz Jr. I'm surprised that Trump hadn't accused his daddy of trying to assassinate him.
That man took his whole family. And then he was on an interview the other day. There's a video floating around Twitter where you can hear him telling his son to shut the hell up.
Yeah, because he's talking to Trump.
He was talking to Trump and the kid was wanting to talk about Pokemon. So he's like, son, would you shut the hell up? So the bad stuff, JD Vance last week when we were on Jennie's channel was polling at -6. In less than a week, he's down to -15. -15. By next week, he'll be down to -30, 35. I mean, it is just
nobody likes him.
Oh my gosh, no. So I here's the thing. We all know Trump's not going to win the election. Dr. Littman said it's Kamala Harris. Still get your asses out. Pretend this is all fake and just get your asses out to vote. Do your civic duty. When JD Vance, when they lose this run, this race, he goes back to the Senate. And hold on. Anyways, he's going to go back to the Senate. He's only been in the Senate, 2 years? So he's up for re-election. He barely won his state. So is he going to...
I think once he was named as VP candidate, he's not running now, right?
You would think he'd want to hang on. Does anybody in the chat know if he's still running in the Senate seat?
I don't think you can run for both. Like once Kamala was selected as VP, she did not run in California and turned it loose to somebody else to run. I don't think you can run for two things.
He's still a senator. He's still a senator. He's got 2 years left in his term.
Is he a senator or
no? He's a senator.
He's senator.
A senator. And he barely made it.
His term is up for 4 years. Yeah, because
so he would technically be going back to the Senate. So is he going to win re-election? Because now everybody knows your shit, dude. Everybody knows you fucked the couch.
He won't run for 4 years, but because he's only been in the Senate for 2.
Everybody knows you fucked your couch. Everybody knows you look up dolphin porn. And then there's a guy on Twitter that's claiming, not Twitter, TikTok, that's claiming that he has gone on a date with JD Vance because he found him on a gay site and they went on a date and JD Vance has a fetish with socks. And that's why he stopped dating him, because he thought it was weird that the guy was like obsessed with socks.
Does
Like
JD does JD Vance have a sock fetish? Ooh, that's a yes.
Yes, I do understand that his term is 6 years. He's only served 2.
Might chase him out before.
And then there was something there too about monkeys. Like that guy's just weird. Monkeys, dolphins, socks, couch fucking. Like, I mean, the couch stuff was made up, but it's stuff
in the closet.
Going on gay sites to go on dates and then gay bashing when you're married with kids. No, that's not how we play around here. What'd you get, Johnny?
He stands an okay chance. His problem is word of warning, 10 of Pentacles. The Republicans have a very sour note about him because of Donald Trump. I guess they're running together with the 8 of Pentacles and all of this coming out and his popularity tanking and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, sure, he can get some votes, but he can't get the money. Money doesn't necessarily mean that having more money doesn't necessarily mean you get the election or anything, but it helps put your profile out there. But at this point, everybody knows who he is because he's running for the second most powerful person in the world type of thing. And so it raises his profile to where he doesn't need as much money, but the support from the infrastructure is not there. The Republicans are going to abandon him because he's not doing very well with Donald Trump. So we'll see. But he still stands a pretty good chance, though.
I get to know he doesn't get reelected. It goes to a woman, and he'll be surprised by Republicans that fight him also. A lot of infighting and stuff. I get he goes on to something new. This is probably a Peter Thiel thing, like he rescues him. He buys him out or takes pity on him, charity. So I think he goes on to do something different than he's done in the past.
I gotta know. I mean, the guy has changed his name 3 different times. The person that you see today is not the person that he was when he ran. His ideology and everything has completely changed. Actually, I don't even know if he has an ideology. He just changes with the wind to see what's, is
flip-flops.
Yeah. So
they call him Flipper. Like
so
the dolphin.
Back to Spanky. Now he's
maybe he becomes a furniture salesman, doesn't he? Specializing in couches. Sectionals. SEX sectionals.
or covers, couch covers, because I mean
excuse me, sir, how much is that one with all the holes in it?
Let's get an inflatable couch.
No, sir.
Oh God. So my next question, Donald Trump is running like a pussy ass bitch away from Kamala Harris. And those are the words of Chrissy Teigen that called him a pussy ass bitch a few years ago. Running like a pussy ass bitch from Kamala Harris. Now he's trying to do the
what do you call it, Becca? Ass and elbows?
Yeah, ass and elbows, baby. And now he's trying to have the debate at Fox News with a stadium full of a live audience and 2 moderators of his picking. And those are his rules. That's what he wants. Kamala Harris's team punched back and said, no. You agreed to this date at this time beforehand. Then you said, because I wasn't the nominee, I'm the nominee, bitch, step up. So,
and she's like, I'm showing up whether you're there or not. Like, I'll just have a whole hour to talk if you're not there.
I mean, it's just funny. It's
on
just
national
funny.
TV.
Here you have the bully, the schoolyard bully that finally meets somebody that's going to punch him in the mouth. And he's too chicken shit to show up. So he's got to get his whole posse to back him up so that he feels like a strong man. You know, it's like, how can people not see through this shit?
He's got to get somebody else to fight for him because he's
scared of a girl.
But she's stupid. You know, he likes to demean women.
And here's the thing. We were just talking about this backstage for the people in the chat. When Donald Trump went to the NABJ, he was shit talking Kamala Harris about how Kamala Harris failed her bar exam, which she passed the second time. Okay. And most people that take the bar don't pass it on the first time because bars are one of the hardest fucking exams you can possibly take in your entire life, you know? And if he thinks he's so smart, Kamala Harris should challenge him to take a freaking bar exam. I'd be here for that, you know? So his thing was, and then he was like, I don't know if she ever got it. And the lady had to correct him. Is like, yeah, she got it. That's how she became attorney general, jackass. You know, like he's just trying to make it sound like he's just out there practicing law without a license, you know? And then he got so pissed off that he started challenging Kamala Harris to a cognitive exam. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. Somebody gave him a fucking Denny's menu and told him he got an A+ on an IQ test. Okay. And he's sitting there. I got an IQ test. I challenge you to take this.
It's like, no, you had a dementia test.
I challenge you to take this. It's harder than the bar. Like, I mean, what a freaking clown.
He never had to take a test in school. His daddy bought his way through. Thank you, Rebecca. His daddy paid his way through school. So,
I mean, just think of how absurd that is. You didn't pass the bar, so I bet you can't pass a cognitive exam. A false equivalency of a cognitive exam, man, woman, camera, TV is harder than a freaking bar.
I hope she takes him up on it with a neutral doctor and televise it because I want to see him take a cognitive. Well, it looks like an elephant to me.
Watch her take that cognitive exam in 5 seconds, and it takes Donald Trump half an hour.
And he needs help, and he has to take off his shoes to count to 10.
I can't stop laughing at him. He's so stupid. But okay, so you guys want to read if he's going to debate her?
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the tableau, so I'm going to sit this one out, but
I just because she'll laugh at him right on stage, and that will do him in. That will fluster the crap out of him.
And if he tries that shit of trying to walk over there like he tried to do to Hillary Clinton when he was trying to intimidate her, where he walked over to her podium, I don't see Kamala Harris standing for that shit.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
And by the way, may I remind you, she is the vice president. There'll probably be Secret Service that'll tackle his fat orange ass to the ground in like 2 seconds.
There's a prowler on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I figured he wanted it to be in a stadium somewhere because he's hoping that he can stage another assassination attempt on somebody else.
I get hangman, so it's like there might be a change of perspective with the Knight of Pentacles. There may be a coming to an agreement here. Some things have to change, some details, that type of thing. It's still very, very, very much under pressure because she called you out. If you got something to say it to my face. And she said, I'm going to be there, which what would it look like if she's the only one standing there and you're supposed to be there too?
Mr. Strongman, I'm so tough, had to go run to his safe space at Fox News with softball questions. And then we just found out that and it was reported on the New York Times, and Midas Touch reported on it. The reason why he was late to the NABJ was because they were having a tiffy because he didn't want to be fact checked in real time. And the reporters were like, no, that was a 30-minute delay because he didn't want to be fact checked.
He will fight this over and over and over again. I get, like, even Republicans are trying to manipulate this about the debate. He's going to lie and say there's some reason that he can't be there, like he's got to be overseas with his buddy Putin or something. Because I get traveling, like he's going to lie about something why he can't be there. And I get
a gag order. That's why.
Yeah. Well, he's working on dark money, so maybe it's Egypt or something. But no, I don't think he will.
So here's my next question: is it going to hurt him to not debate Kamala Harris?
He could be in prison by then.
Well, he gets sentenced in September.
Yeah. They're going to have to change my cartoon where it showed Biden debating Trump from a TV camera to Kamala.
I'm telling you, the Simpsons were on to something a few decades ago.
If he sharded on stage, Kamala would say something. She's not going to let that slide by. Did you just poop your diapers on stage, Donald? Don Old.
Well, you didn't give it to
calling him
Kamala.
Don Old.
You got to give it to Kamala. She sat there and watched Mike Pence with a big ass fly on his head for the whole debate.
Would you like? You never said. Would you like?
She kept it on the level, and Marshmallow Head over there had a big ass fly sitting right on his head.
Yeah, that one looked at. It's like, what did you do? And nobody said nothing. There was somebody else in that room that had a microphone.
Somebody should have done like.
I mean, I wonder what happened. Like, if the fly got stuck in all the hairspray, or if Mike's Pence just.
Well, they've got little TVs there. Like, could he not see he had something dark on his hair? His hair's so white it stood out like a sore thumb.
Listen, that was God. You can't do nothing about that because that's just the way it was meant to be.
Like the good old saying goes, like flies on shit, right on Mike Pence's head.
That was one of his ancestors who came to visit. That's all.
Like flies on shit.
Wait, what was our question?
How does he feel?
Will it hurt Trump?
Or will it hurt him?
Yeah, that he doesn't debate
yes,
Harris.
It will hurt him. I did a reading off camera, and for just practice. And the problem is, and I don't believe it, but prove it to me and I'll believe it, that there are some that are considered MAGA. Maybe we consider them more MAGA than MAGA would consider them MAGA, but they walk around with the tinfoil hat. So they're tired of the same message, and they're starting to see through the very, very thin veneer of it all. So you have the 7 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles. There are some people here with the 2 of Cups who were normally on his side and now not so much. They're starting to feel as though they're starting to see through it. The Page of Swords, there's the liar, the lie and the gossip. So they're starting to see through it. He looks very childish, especially with they even had the token Negro, Donald. He was on George Stephanopoulos. Everybody now wants to question her race. They want to do the race thing and the Bertha thing and find something else. That one's not good enough. That one, you can't, you're not going to win anybody over with that one. People who hate her are going to hate her, period. And if they hate her because she's dark skinned or they hate her because she's a woman, they're always going to do that. You don't have to go spin it on TV. You're not going to convince anybody that she's not an American. So that's not going to work. but they're starting to see through that type of thing, and he is going to lose some voters, believe it or not. I don't believe it, but we'll see.
The loser. Something is going to change right around the time of the debate. There's something that he's paid out, some grift or something that's investigated, and it's him directly, and it changes stuff. Like there's some evidence that comes out, major anxiety, and he's not accepting it. But this will affect the voters, is what I'm getting, because there's a whistleblower on something and major evidence coming out. Something that he's done in secret. A lot of his supporters may flip to the other side of the aisle.
That's what I get.
Mind you, he has the Mormons for Kamala. They got a thing now, Mormons for Kamala. They're starting to campaign for her.
They wear magic underwear.
Kyle, murderous piece of shit Rittenhouse, is not going to vote for Donald Trump. Like he
flipped back. He flipped back.
He flip-flopped on it. Somebody knocked on his door and visited him, and like within a few hours, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm voting for Trump." Somebody
called him this or that.
Somebody either threatened him or gave him some money, because the poor kid doesn't have any money anymore.
Doesn't have anything. Good.
He's right there with Rudy Giuliani. Rudy just lost another court thing. So.
Humpty Dumpty.
Kyle Rittenhouse and Rudy Giuliani. What a pair that would make.
You were saying, Johnny, that the Mormons for Kamala?
Mormons for Kamala. Mm-hmm. They have a coalition there where they are campaigning for her, basically. I don't know which Mormons it was, but it's a whole group thing. If you look it up, it's the Mormons are for her now, and some evangelicals, of course, too, because there was this conservative pastor. They've been pushing his video all around because he's conservative, so he wasn't a Biden supporter, but he's black, and so Donald Trump coming out and disrespecting the black woman, now he is Team Kamala. So.
But he's still got Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off.
Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock, you guys, performing in front of an audience of a whole 12 people. Yeah. It's going to hurt him, because here's the party. Change and moving away and the base. And there's even more. The governor in Arizona, the former governor, I think it was, in Arizona, the Republican came out and said, we can't, as Arizonians, vote for this man. We can't, don't do it. Party over, or country over party.
Thank you, Tina.
So,
there's a change in when he's saying you'll never have to vote again, I mean, he's obviously going to be a dictator on day one.
I just don't see how people just don't get tired. I just noticed the other day that Donald Trump and JD Vance, their two last names, T and V, TV, like a TV. I was like, can we cancel the fucking TV show in November? Like, just be done with it, you know? Because I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of this guy. Just go away.
The young people are totally getting behind Kamala. It's been so much fun to watch that part of it. Like, so that'll drive a lot of kids that weren't going to vote or weren't going to register to get in there and vote.
And here's the thing. I don't know if it's just rumor or what, or if it's actually going to happen. But once the Swifties come on board, forget it. I think
they're already on board. Once you just cat people, the Swifties are right there.
Well, Taylor Swift changed her thing that said that this is a cat account. So it's like, yeah, go ahead. I'm sure Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock are going to get you a bunch of supporters. You know?
The United States celebrity culture has a very big influence on everything.
Yes. Beyonce and Taylor Swift versus Kid Rock, Hulk Hogan, and Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Everything has-beens, wannabes, washed up, career done.
Speaking of that, I just saw a Twitter post the other day from a Republican strategist that was saying that we need to stop with the celebrity endorsements because
I can't get any.
And we should focus on policies. Okay,
That would be great.
Yeah, let's talk about Project 2025. Let's see how great that is, because that's your only policy.
Right. And Trump saying he didn't know anybody involved with that. And then he called out the guy who was the CEO of that group that wrote 2025 and thanked him on Saturday.
That guy stepped down. The main CEO guy stepped down.
But there's another guy that he was thinking that's involved with them.
Uh-huh.
So, that guy, the one I read some article, it was on Politico, I think. Anyway, that they're saying he stepped down because he's going to now be on the front lines of it. Because apparently he started it and now he got it to a point where they don't need him in that position anymore. So he's going to be doing something else instead, I guess, just being out altogether.
But, I have a question. Did JD accept the VP running mate thing because he thought that they would be able to get Trump out, whether...
Oh, you damn right they did. And Trump is so stupid in that interview. He's like, oh, the VP doesn't matter. I'm like, you're 78 years old. Okay.
Cognitive decline. All he has to do is point Fifth Amendment your ass out and he's president.
You're a heart attack waiting to happen. Is he so narcissistic that he thinks he's fucking Superman? That he's just going to live forever? Because from where I'm sitting, you look like you got a good 2-3 years left. And that's just
longevity is not in his family.
And it's just like, I'll set this one out, but you guys go ahead.
Did JD accept the position because he thought he'll be president very quickly within the first term?
I know, Salome. They're telling him that so he doesn't get buyer's remorse. Come on, the guy, I'm pretty sure he's convinced he's 6'5", 215 pounds.
Yeah, so
not 6 feet, 450. I'm just saying.
I think he would have 25th Amendment him. He's been working with some people on this. It's like, take him out because, heartbreak, he's not well. And it's something he's worked on in secret, holding very close to his chest with some other people, either in the government or in societies like the Heritage Society, that kind of thing. But I think he would say he's a nut. We gotta take him out. We gotta end it, cast judgment, and take strength. He would have taken him out.
I don't believe that this is his plan necessarily. I get the Temperance card and the Chariot card, 2 cards of teamwork, if you will. And then the Page of Cups, the Star, and the Ten of Swords. So yes, that is the ambition, is to be president. So they don't suspect he'll be there the entire time. But this is a teamwork thing. They need Vance in place because he's who they paid for. Donald Trump, he was useful. Mind you, he was the Sharpie. So he signed everything they told him to sign. He did everything they told him to do. And he was a marvelous distraction while they messed up the rest of the country with placing a judge here and a person there and a this, that, and a this. So he served his purpose. Right now, his purpose is just to get somebody else in there, which long shot.
So with that, there's been a lot of reporting that Republicans on the Hill are shitting their pants because Donald Trump is dragging down the entire Republican ticket.
Well, they got no money down ballot.
But yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, he lost you guys in 2018, 220, 221, 222, every special election in between. He is a serial loser.
Lindsey Graham was psychic when he said, if we elect Trump, we'll get what we deserve. You're so right.
We'll be destroyed. We'll be destroyed. So regardless of the national fucking security risk that he was, that he still is to this day, despite the fact that he tanked the economy and quadrupled the debt, despite the fact that he killed millions of Americans during a fucking pandemic. I mean, forget about all that. We're just worried about winning. And even if he has said that once he goes back into the White House, he's going to just let Russia march right into the Ukraine and to fuck with our allies and NATO's. And
he congratulated Putin in Atlanta for the great negotiating he did for the hostage releases.
That's another thing I was going to get to tonight, and it's just like, what part of this guy is a serial loser in the past 8 years? It's been almost a decade and you guys still don't get it.
Yeah. You
still don't get, like, are they really that stupid, or are they that much in a bubble that they can't see beyond what's right in front of their face? So they're worried that he's going to lose everything, besides the fact that he's bankrupted the RNC. Like, what the Trumps did to us taxpayers while he was in office, and it was a smash and grab of just take all of our fucking money, is what they're doing to the RNC right now. So I want to know. What is their plan to deal with him? Because what it looked like before was just let the Democrats clean up the mess. Just let the Dems clean it up. Oh shit, well, we can't support the Dems cleaning it up because then we'll lose our seats. So we'll just let the justice system clean it up. Well, the justice system hasn't cleaned it up yet. So
well, and then you had the Supreme Court that gave him immunity. So
and then I got a follow-up question after this.
They're just in chaos.
What'd you get, Johnnie?
I'm not a Republican strategist of any kind. I don't even play one on TV, as they say. But if all these years ago, the only thing he got you was the White House, not talking about what he did for you when he was there, because again, he was the Sharpie. But after that, everybody kept losing their seats, and then they kept losing their spots around the country, and then they would get endorsed by him, which was like the endorsement of death for your career. And after all of this, and then the indictment, and then the 99 red balloons, all these different things that kept happening to this one person, why is it that, okay, the cards I have, there's the magician, there's the skill, power, talent, manipulation, the person in charge, he's the one that they want to have all the power, right? Then there's the high priestess, which is agenda, and the 8 of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles. They want to get him back on message, to get him back on the job. Mitch McConnell said, Paul Ryan said, he's learning. He's going to get this. You have to give it training wheels, basically. Which I know was a lie, because all you needed him for was to sign stuff. He didn't care if he got it or not. But there are people who are willing to work with him to sort of get him back on message. Donald Trump, though, is not a Republican. Donald Trump is a Donald Trumpian. He is for himself, always has been, always will be. I don't understand this. You cannot get him back on a message he's never been on.
Okay, so we know that last time you lost, you tried to overturn the government. We don't do that here. This is the guy that got fired from the job, set the building on fire, and tries to come back and apply for the same position.
Yes. I don't understand. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
So they're all attracted to the shiny, glittery star. It's like, secure the White House, partner, do anything to secure the White House and control the Justice Department. But they're going to fight to the end. Like that was their goal. That was their agenda, secure the White House. Now they're like, and everything's just crumbling to an end. And the more illumination there is on stuff to do with Trump, the more they're going to walk away, turn their back on him, move on from him. So it's going to be after the fact. They're all going to be like, oh. So they're going to try to defend themselves with their donors and everything, but they're very emotional right now because it's not working. They're trying to secure the White House at all costs, like they thought, okay, if we secure the White House down ballot, it'll take care of itself. Nope.
They're waiting for him to die and just move on away from him. Dead serious. Clover House coffin.
Pardon the pun, dead serious.
Yeah, Clover House coffin. He has lost them. He's going to be losing them the House. He's going to lose the White House, and he's going to lose states, stuff that is more domestic. Him,
see that already happening.
Trump, and then moving away, moving on, just move. So they're just like, well, let's just hope he dies.
Just change the story.
And here was my follow-up question. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
It's almost like there'll be like, well, thank you for your service. He died, yay.
So here was my question. All of those Republicans who secretly despise Trump, and there are many, we're not stupid, but pretend to love him, think that in 5 to 10 years from now, this will all be over and they will be able to recover their reputations. Let me see. What did I write on here? But I wrote, will they ever be able to get the stink of Trump off of them? Will the GOP be able to recover its reputation and earn back the respect of traditional conservative voters?
Because they haven't had the popular vote since Bush Sr.
No, and not even that, Jen. Not even that. Put the popular vote and all that shit aside. The biggest thug on the fucking planet just walked in, shit all over the room, and you're like, yay, to save your own ass. Your integrity, your character, before it was just a show and people ate it up. Conservative did. Now you done showed your whole ass.
Yes.
So will they be able to recover their reputation and earn the respect? Look at what's her name? What the girl that was running for GOP president, what's her name? Nikki Haley went on that stage and freaking bashed Trump the whole time, and as soon as the tables were turned, she was kissing his ass. Where's your integrity? That tells me that you don't really believe the shit you were selling. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, are the voters going to ever trust the GOP again? Really?
To me, this is why it does go back to the constituents. Their constituents have shrunk and shrunk and shrunk for decades. They're the minority in this country now. The only reason they keep getting elected is gerrymandering and voter suppression and stuff. So if it's going to keep shrinking and shrinking, because we have the youth today, they're much more integrated, than we were back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. They're much more liberal today. So as these kids keep coming of age to vote and stuff, they're just going to keep shrinking in that mentality.
It's like they're just stuck in the 1950s. Oh, America was great in the 1950s. Yeah, because we had a post-war economy thanks to fucking FDR. And oh, by the way, it was great to you guys because women didn't have jobs, and the blacks were over there in the corner not allowed to do anything. That's
we're not going back. We're not going back. Kamala says.
They want to tout about the great economy of the 50s without acknowledging that we had that economy because of a fucking progressive president, FDR, at the time. That's the part of the formula that they don't want to,
They love to say, and Republicans freed the slaves. Well, what happened after that?
Yeah, what happened? I remember this thing called Jim Crow. Was that a thing?
Where y'all at now? Will they be able to? Well, there are, I'm going to say no, because Donald Trump is not, the way I'm going to speak about him, he is not a person. He is a thing. He is an ideology. He's an energy that lives on. So you can get rid of the character behind the words, but the words still stay. That's why the pen is mightier than the sword. Words hurt, words heal. And so he is a energy that will stay because you have accepted it. And this is the platform you all stand on. You just didn't stand on it in public. And then he brought it out to the forefront.
They need some detergent to get the stain out, right, Johnny?
Can't do it.
And they can't get it.
This card, this is called the Insta Tarot. So it's like an Instagram post and tarot mashed together. I left this in here. This is just one of their extra cards they put in. It says loading. And so it's perfect for this situation because with the Chariot is self-discipline. It's pulling opposites together. It's being on the same page. And then it comes with this. It's like you have to have some discipline. You have to have a plan going forward. You have to change thy ways. If you want to get rid of the Donald Trump energy, then you need to get rid of the Donald Trump energy.
You got to learn something new.
Again, he is just a character. You all have it. Mitch McConnell is a Donald Trump energy. Lindsey Graham is a Donald Trump energy. They're all two-faced. They all will stab you in the back. They don't care about nobody except rich white men. That is not the kind of energy that is the majority in this country. So will they be rid of him? No, not really. It's just illumination and more clarity and information. They can't seem to walk away from that thing because they don't want to make the hard decision to stop this platform. Donald Trump is just a character. He'll die eventually, but that energy will still be there. You have accepted it. So I think they'll have that forever.
Yep, I get it's a hard fight too. Kamala and all women, we're not going back. They can't include us. It's like, okay, it's like a surprising power is drained by Trump, and they will be fighting this legacy for a long, long, long time. So everything they thought they were getting away with and manipulating, it's going to cling to you, like a smelly fish. It's going to cling to you. So I get that it may take a while even to change things within the government. As Johnny says, like pulling it together, right? Mm-hmm. Judgment is sitting on them and their image has got to change. They're unwilling to change the image. They can't pull it together to change the image.
It's forget about Trump.
And it's all about the men, right? It's all about the patriarchal society. They're leaving out the women on the bottom.
Forget about Trump for a second. It's the extremism and the misogyny. Mm-hmm. Men that have never gone to medical school somehow think they have the authority to tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her own body. When there are 1,021 different things that can happen during a pregnancy. But nope, not even during life-saving medical treatment are you allowed to have an abortion, as said the Supreme Court in Texas. So not even if the life of the mother is at risk, tough shit. Now you have 2 deaths, the baby and the mom. They view women as brood mares. Now here's the thing. If you have a pet or if you have a farm and you have cats and dogs and horses and cows or whatever, your pets and your farm animals will have more reproductive rights than a woman. Because if there is an emergency when your dog is giving birth or your cow's giving birth or your horse is giving birth, you can call the vet and they can intervene. For a woman that's having a difficult pregnancy, tough shit, go bleed out in the parking lot and die of sepsis.
I'm surprised they haven't outlawed having your tubes tied yet.
I was just going to get to that. Because remember when I told you what was in Project 2025? It was like on page 460.
All the IVF and everything is kind of
page 468 or 486. It was one of those two. It was one of those two. Even banning chemotherapy for women because it can interfere with the woman's ability to reproduce. Think about that. Think about that. They even want to deny women chemotherapy because it may interfere with the woman's ability to reproduce. It's fucking insanity. It's fucking insanity.
What will really interfere with a woman's ability to reproduce is nasty men that they don't want to do it with.
You know, I mean, it's just, I was just thinking about that the other day, Jen. I was like, they're going after IVF. They're going after birth control. They're going after condoms. They're going after abortion. I was like, I'm surprised the idea, the whole thing about, because I was talking to you about getting Braxy spayed. It's like, when are they going to decide, oh, women can't get their tubes tied either? Because you're just a broodmare. But in reality, broodmares have more rights than a fucking human.
Yeah.
That's how insane it is. Will they be able to rid themselves of it? No. They'll only be able to steal stuff to remain in power. Will they be able to recover their reputation? No. They'll only do it by stealing to stay in power. So
we'll eventually have another party, but you know, they're going to have to find people that aren't nut jobs like Jill Stein and RFK Jr. They're going to have to find.
Why did you say Jill Stein? Is Jill Stein running in the Republican Party now?
Huh? No, they're independent. They're going to have. They'll need to, you know, get a third party going, but it needs to be some more normal people, not the fringe.
I mean, it's and you cannot tell me that Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham and all these motherfuckers are not aware of the healthcare crisis they've created in their own states for repealing abortion rights. But yeah, I mean, these states are test cases, and they're like, well, it's going to shit. Here's an idea. Let's take it nationwide. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid.
It's power and control. They think once they're in control that they can regulate all of that. You know, the thing about, you know, less government, but let's regulate women. They think once they have control over all of that, then they can stay in power. And it's like,
let's regulate that. Talking about weird. Remember,
because they want to take women's right to vote away too.
Yeah, but that requires a constitutional convention to take it away. So why not make them stay home pregnant with kids, 50 kids from all the people that she's been raped by, and now she can't, you know? And also in that Project 2025, it's against adoption too. So those babies you just had because you were raped, can't give them up for adoption. Sorry for the inconvenience. You know, it's like, what?
And then to compound a problem, no food stamps, no WIC, no government assistance whatsoever. Okay, have all the babies in the world, but you can't feed them.
Nope.
That's nice.
And you can't even
educate them. Lunch.
You got rid of the Department of Education too. Like, do they not look at the states that they're in and the messes they've created?
But see, this is why those readings basically said this is the stench they will have forever, because it's the platform you stand on. The country overwhelmingly rejects it. The problem that we have on the blue side is all the blue people don't vote because of all the other stuff that's against them, or they just don't care, or whatever the case may be. And we need to change all that too, but at the same time, I don't understand why they don't see it. Like, why don't you see that this is just not the way to go?
And here's the thing, though:
how
many of those MAGA morons that will die on the hill of voting Donald Trump have even sat down and have any idea what is in Project 2025? Because just because you're going to own the libs, you stupid motherfuckers are going to be suffering right along with the libs.
Well, the problem
too is, and you think you're buying a steak, but it's actually roadkill because they got rid of the FDA, and you're freaking dying of some godforsaken disease.
They've got a lot of Christian women who think women should be stay-at-home moms, right? They want to be taken care of, and that are all in the patriarchal society.
In what reality can a husband take care of a wife and God knows how many kids plus a roof over their head and feed all those mouths when Republicans are not in favor of raising wages? And also, by the way, in Project 2025, they want to do away with overtime pay. So if your boss wants to work you 120 hours a week, tough shit, you're not going to get paid for it. Be thankful for the job you have. So again, they want this utopian, domesticated 1950s society while taking away all the social structures that allowed that sort of golden era in America.
Yep. And that's a shrinking percentage of the population. You can tell by how many fewer people go to churches anymore, right?
No,
thank you, Claudia.
It's a dying thing.
It's a dying thing. Patriarchal society is a dying thing, finally.
I can't wait for it to fucking die already. Okay, hold on. Let me get my questions. But yeah, I didn't mean to like compare women to farm animals.
But that's what they do. They compare us to
but if you think about it, horses that are pregnant that are having difficulties delivering, they have more rights than women in Texas. You can call the vet and they'll be right there to help your horse. You're a woman, tough shit, go die in the parking lot. We can't help you. You know, like it's insane. Okay, let me see. Okay, we read on the Project 2025 guy already, or no?
No.
Oh, Uncle Fred. Uncle Fred came out, and he's been coming out all over the place because he wrote that book about how Donald Trump told him to just let his son die and move to
his nephew Fred. His nephew
Fred. Yeah. So he wrote a book. Fred Trump wrote a book. And
Mary Trump's been talking about this too, supporting her brother.
And he's been doing the tours on TV. He was on Nicole Wallace's show the other day, and he said that he's joining the Kamala campaign. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's joining the campaign. I think he's going to be like an outreach person or whatever. His son is very ill, very disabled, and Donald Trump was the trustee of their account. Well, he stole all the fucking money, basically. He cheated Fred and Mary out of their portion.
And took their insurance away.
And took their insurance
away. The nephew was in the hospital.
So how are you going to pay for that? You know what I mean? So he went over there to ask him for money, and Trump told him, well, he doesn't even recognize you. Just let him die and move to Florida.
Well, what's interesting, Mary Trump released an audio tape of her Aunt Mary, Trump's sister, who passed away a couple of years ago, where she basically was kind of saying the same thing, like, well, it's not a quality of life, just let him die. I mean, it's like that's their mentality, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, dude, the more I hear about this guy, the more like it tracks. Johnnie,
everybody with disabled kids, you know, and there are Republicans in state legislatures and in our federal government that have kids with disabilities too. It's like, wow.
Yep. Just let them die. Get it over with. You know, I mean, it's just like, who fucking says that? I understand, Debsy, it's eugenics is the same thing the fucking Nazis did. I get it, but who in their right goddamn mind feels comfortable enough to just say that? You know what I mean? Like, that is, You know, at least if he's thinking it, nobody knows, but he said it. You know what I mean? It's like he thinks it's perfectly okay to fucking say it. So I want to know about Fred Trump. Is he going to have any impact on
sharing his story and sharing his book
on the Kamala campaign?
I mean, think about how many veterans come home with a disability. You know, it's kind of like J.D. Vance attacking Simone Biles when she withdrew to take care of her mental health, and people were praising her, and he's like, "Why are we praising somebody with mental issues?" You know, it's like, okay, you just dissed every veteran that has PTSD as a former.
Just Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's Donald Trump Jr.
Donald Trump has a mental issue.
Yeah. Donald Trump has so many mental health issues that the DSM-5 needs to be revised to add a whole bunch of new ones.
He's probably a new disorder, I'm pretty sure.
They're going to name a disorder after him.
Yeah, he made a lot of history. I guarantee you he's got a new disorder.
So will Fred Trump have any impact with the Kamala campaign? There's more and more Republicans coming out saying that we voted for him in 2016. We voted for him in 2020. We're not voting for him again. It's like, and I still don't understand that. It's like, what did he do in those 4 years that you thought, this is great, let me vote for him again? When I remember seeing on TV the mass graves in New York City of just throwing people in there during COVID, what happened during those 4 years that you thought was so fantastic that you were like, yep, that's my guy?
You know, I believe they both have a outstanding court case to try to get some of their money back too. Because I'm picking up on that a little bit. But I get that this is going to grow and it's going to cause people to give a lot of money to Kamala because there's, you know, it's like he's going to be going around different cities or something and talking and raising support and doing a lot of work. But I get also like he's going to get to higher ground with this court case against Trump also. He's going to push this. He's going to push this narrative quite strongly. So, yeah. And talking about how much of a bully Trump is, you know. Like, we don't need that in the White House.
I don't get whether or not this went in a whole different direction. I think this situation with him and the Don is going to get uglier. From the nephew's standpoint, he may be throwing a lot of darts Donald's way. The dartboard. Actually didn't notice that at first, but there it is. But yes, there's a lot of accusations and a lot of that type of thing. It's going to create a lot of chaos. I would say yes, it'll help the campaign just because of the chaos, because what you need is a destruction of the image, because people keep putting him up on this pedestal, especially the religious people who saw him fall and rise again type of thing. There's a whole bunch of chaos that's about to come out, but it's coming from the nephew's standpoint. There's also a whole bunch of stories and things about a death. I don't know if it's happening yet or is going to happen or something like that, but he wants some like investigation and some people to talk about it because it's mysterious with the moon, and he wants somebody to look into it. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that he's about to just throw at the wall and see what sticks. It's a bit of the Five of Swords it speaks of dishonor. This is like hurt feelings type thing. And so he is about to low blow, I really think, is what's about to happen. So this is going to get uglier. So I will say, yes, it will help, because he's trying to tear down the image. Something is about to happen to where he's being pushed to that point.
Who, Fred Trump is being pushed to that point, or Trump?
Yes.
Trump?
The nephew. He's about to come out swinging, I think.
Good. Punch him right in his orange face and snatch his wig while you're at it. I get the garden, the snake, and the woman. Will he be able to help? Yes. There's a lot of stuff coming out from the other team, the other campaign, that's just going to be a bunch of lies. Lies, lies, lies. Donald Trump breeds. It's a lie.
But in the GOP now, like, they just flagrantly lied because they saw how Trump taught them well how to just lie.
Well, they had to hold that meeting the other day where Moses Mike told them, hey, tone down the racism. Why do you have a problem with it all of a sudden? You all have been blasting that shit on the freaking bullhorn for the
Why do you even have to say that to grown people?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you've been doing it for the
what's his name,
past
Joe
years.
Kennedy
Now all of
from
a sudden
down in-
you have a problem? Now you have a problem.
Joe Kennedy down there in Louisiana was talking about how much of an idiot Kamala was. It's like, then there you go. Old white man.
Here's my next question. Hold on, because let me see. First off, how does Trump feel about her rallies? Because you know everything, he views life through the lens of a camera. If it looks good on TV, that's
the biggest crowd.
The biggest crowd. Well, they showed Kamala Harris's Georgia rally, and that thing was, I think they said that they had to turn people away. And then Donald Trump had a rally in Georgia, and it was like you could see seats all over the place. It wasn't packed. So I want to know, how does he feel about her rallies? Because he was talking about it the other day too. She doesn't have that many people at her rallies, and those are all paid actors and blah blah. Like, he was just shit talking, like just shit.
I don't even care.
He handed out placards that said "You're fired." So all behind JD Vance are all these placards that say "You're fired." It's like, yeah, that was really smart, Trump.
Yes, Rhonda, he stages everything, and he views reality through the lens of a television. Like, he wants to make all of us think that whatever he puts on TV is reality. Like, he lives through reality television. That's how crazy he is,
Anybody that's into wrestling knows it's all faked out, and he loves that crap.
They keep showing videos of Donald Trump where he's filming videos of himself where he goes outside and he waves at nothing, and then they use AI to fill in a bunch of people, like he's got a bunch of crowds.
And they show the opposite view, and there's nobody over there.
There's nobody over there. Like, he walked out of a building and he was all waving and stuff. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. And then they
getting on his plane.
Johnnie.
He was getting on his plane, waving at nobody.
Yeah, there was another one where he showed up at a rally and he's like, there's nobody there. So all those videos are coming out. So see what I'm saying? Like, everything he does is manufactured and staged. It is so staged that he has people filming him waving at nothing so they can fill it all in.
I don't know why I'm surprised. That's how it started when he went down the escalator. All those people were paid to be there.
Uh-huh.
Including Melania.
Oh, sweet Mary and Joseph, Jesus, help us all. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question, Becca?
How does he feel about Kamala Harris's rallies?
501s. Arguing, fighting, politics. Very upset. He doesn't know how to change it, though. The Four of Pentacles in the Wheel of Fortune and the Hermit. And he's like searching for that edge, for that thing. So here's the thing. I'm not a strategist, but her race and her gender are not going to work. Okay. Those things are going to be seen as separate and apart from policy. If you want to go back into her history when she was in Congress, or her history when she was AG, or like her failing the bar exam is not a thing that people are going to say, okay, I can't vote for her. She failed the bar exam. Those are people that you're telling that to more than likely have never taken the bar exam, you being one of them. So that's not a thing that's going to help you. So he can't figure out how to get that edge and he's battling with, because again, popularity, that's all he cares about, and she's got more than you do. The Indians make it woman.
It destroys him. It destroys him. It bothers him big time here. He passes judgment on her image every chance he gets. And he observes, like he's not accepting that he's losing yet. But I get he's just trying to figure out how to change votes, working with his network, meeting with them. This came up earlier, how to hang on to the votes, how to grow the votes. He's trying to rig the election. He knows he's lost.
The woman, the dog, and the child. She's got the youth, the young kids. How does he feel about it? She's got the young kids. And everybody at Trump rallies look like they're uneducated. Maybe the highest education is second grade. Or AARP members with Social Security that you're promising to strip them away from.
That one I don't understand. I mean, we've had this conversation before where they think, well, it's not mine. Yeah. But it's so baffling to me how you're going to vote for the person that takes away the only thing you're living off of.
That, Johnnie, I had that same conversation with my father-in-law because he's one of those that they need to do away with Social Security, but not mine. Not mine. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that the government's going to write me out a check for every fucking goddamn penny, nickel, and dime I have paid since I was 15 years old that I've been paying into Social Security? And somehow you're supposed to keep yours, but they can take away mine? Like, it's the selfishness, the fucking selfishness, the entitlement, the fucking So I have, did you go, Jennie?
Yeah. It was really funny because Laura Ingraham, she kept going on and on about, well, Kamala's old too. She's turning 60 or whatever, because they keep talking about how young Kamala is. Yeah, and it's like, compared to Biden and Trump's 78.
The tables have turned.
Yeah.
Because that's all he had to bash Biden on. You're old, and now it's Don Old, O-L-D. That's what people are calling him.
She doesn't come across as 60. She's got a youthful vigor about her. So even at 60,
I mean, 60's first is like not 50. Old.
She doesn't look 60 either.
The 60s are the new 40s if you take care of yourself. And like that previous reading, woman, dog, and child, the youth, but she herself is also youthful, younger, So my next question is, we all know that Donald Trump can't win, so he's got to just smear people with the shit that's in his diapers. He couldn't get Joe Biden on anything. So what did he do? Well, let's look back to impeachment number 1, ladies and gentlemen, when he was trying to extort the Ukraine to make up shit about Biden's son so that he can win an election. That's what got him impeached the first time. Okay. He didn't let that go. He didn't let that go. It was all Hunter Biden's laptop and Hunter Biden's corrupt and Hunter Biden this and Hunter Biden. He tries to smear people as crooks and criminals. And when he can't, he goes after their families, because thinking that, well, by proximity, you'll be guilty by association and that's your kid. Meanwhile, his entire family is a criminal fucking enterprise. So, Paul, what is it? Pot call kettle. So what is he going to try to make up about Kamala Harris? Put her husband aside, that now they're trying to smear her husband because he cheated on his first wife.
Which backfired big time
because he cheated on his first wife with the second wife, cheated on the second wife with the third wife, cheated on the third wife with a bunch of porn stars and minors that he was raping, so I don't think he got a leg to stand on, but that's never really hurt Donnie from slinging mud. So what is he going to try to accuse her of to make her look like a criminal? Because I don't think he likes that prosecutor versus felon thing, because even though it's true and he knows it's fucking true, he's not liking it very much. So what's he going to try?
Question again?
What is he going to try to smear Kamala with? Like what crime is he going to try to paint on her? you know. I saw MAGA the other day on Twitter. They were losing their minds. Oh my God, Kamala Harris is wearing a $165,000 Tiffany necklace. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Did you all see when Melania Trump was floating all over the place with a freaking $55,000 Hermes purse? No, you didn't? Oh.
Thank you, John, and thank you, June. Yeah, what I loved is everybody was tweeting pictures of Melania with the guy from Tiffany's. Yeah, the CEO from Tiffany's. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about cheating. It's going on right now in your marriage.
Yeah. Your wife won't even sleep in the same state as you. Forget the same room, the same state.
Everybody loves Melania.
That woman who survived her husband from the shooting at the rally, he just made fun of her husband at the rally the other day. But please tell me how you refuse to take a call from Biden because your husband would be pissed off. So what is he going to try to manufacture on Kamala Harris? Go Johnnie.
Putting people in jail. So they're going to probably go back to her AG records. So they're going to go after her for that when she would put people in jail. Especially as we talked about too, about the truancy and all of that. So that pops up too with the kids and the Eight of Pentacles kids at work, and then the Eight of Swords, which is jail. There's something too about she may have, they want to say she has taken money or taken bribes from somebody overseas, or that her PAC takes money, or that she's taken money to get elected. Something to where money was exchanged in order for her to be elected. There's also, like, I don't know if some man was running against her in California for something, but he may be brought into that conversation too, where she bribed, or she paid, or she had some sort of sneaky way to get into office, basically.
Yeah, as if Trump didn't hire his whole family via nepotism.
Because I mean, when they do accuse people of stuff, it's always projection, so that makes sense.
Because they did.
I was about to say, it's projection, what I'm getting, and it's going to blow up in his face too. I'm getting two things. I'm getting he's going to try to change the dementia, the mental capabilities, her image that she's the one with the mentally deranged dementia.
I challenge you to a cognitive test, Kamala.
Yeah. I also think he's going to try to say that she changed her sex.
Oh, he's gonna go transgender on her?
He did that to Michelle though the entire time.
Yeah. I think he's gonna try to say she changed genders. Just like she changed colors, she changed genders also.
She's a chameleon.
A chameleon Kamala.
I get the house, the anchor, the book, the child, and the clover. Something to do with her home state around education for children. People staying home, family staying home, education for children. But it's
like homeschooling.
Not even homeschooling. It's house and anchor, so staying home. And then book and child, education for children. There's something around in the state of California, staying home and education for children, but it's not homeschooling though. It's not homeschooling.
Like mom stay at home and get your kids educated kind of thing.
I don't know.
Like being a stay at home mom.
No, that's not it either. It's not stay-at-home mom and it's not homeschooling, but it's somebody staying home and the kids learning. So maybe it is what Johnnie was saying about truancy. There you go, big staff, truancy. Like kids weren't going to school, staying home. And so I know that Kamala Harris had a thing when she was AG because there was a few videos of her laughing about her jailing parents for truancy. And it's just like, you do realize that San Francisco is one of the most expensive goddamn cities ever in the country, ever. You know, I think it's right up there with New York. It's how ridiculous it is in San Francisco. And you're going to brag about jailing people for not sending their kids to school? Like, how the hell you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that fix the problem? You know, arresting parents for truant children.
We had it in Oklahoma when I was in school because they made a really big deal, naturally, because the state pays the school for you being there. And so if you're not there, then they lose money. And so if you were late or if you did not come, I think it was 3 times, and your parents could get a ticket. And then if they wanted to push the envelope, they could actually be arrested because you were not coming to school. It all boiled down to money, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think part of it too, though, I mean, if you think about it, like the parents that got charged in Michigan for their son that went into a school and did a school shooting and unalived people, and they held the parents accountable. She kind of has that mentality of holding the parents accountable for the children.
But I think
to some degree, but there's margins of error in that, you know. So I get it. Ultimately, the children are their responsibility, not the schools, to get them into the schools and stuff. So I kind of get that. But at the same time, I know kids will lie to their parents and say they went to school when they don't.
Yeah.
That's what policy is.
You know, so there that might be one of the things. It's about
and there's dysfunction at home sometimes that causes the kid to lay out of school.
Staying at home, education, learning, children. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's something around that he's going to try to go after her. But at least she didn't freaking commit 90-something freaking felonies. So I'm just saying.
She didn't molest a 13-year-old.
You know? So that's all I got. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And thank you, Johnnie and Jennie.
Thank you.
Next week, we will be on this little guy's channel. Johnnie, do you still have the Care Bear? Does it still smell, or did it dissipate? Does it still smell like cupcake?
Yes, it does, actually.
Is it? But did it dissipate, or did it?
You can still smell it. Because they put it in the almost said in the fur, like it's a real thing. They put it in the fabric, and so yeah, you can smell it.
I was wondering if it would like the smell would go away over time.
No, you don't smell it all in the room, but if you smell his little head, then you smell it.
Cool. Well, thanks to you everybody for hanging out tonight. We didn't get to the questions about Judge Chutkan because she reopened that case. Donald Trump again tried to throw it out, calling not prosecutorial misconduct, but something else. He's just slinging shit up the wall to get it thrown out. And Judge Chutkan said, see you here on this date. Have a nice day.
Well, send me your question.
I'm going to get steamrolling. And I got to catch up what's going in Georgia, because I thought that was supposed to start up in August. And then the thing with Karin, they're not having the hearing till like October, November, I think is what I heard.
Mm-hmm. So that's fine. She's going to be overturned. And then Donald Trump's going to try to take it back to the Supreme Court. And it's going to be a whole mess. And In
the meantime, there's going to be more indictments against him before the election.
He's going to, if there's one thing we can guarantee, is that he's probably committing crimes right now that he hasn't been indicted for yet. Which one? The Logan Act. He's been in violation of the Logan Act.
Yep.
So, all right, you guys. Well, we will see you next week on Johnnie's. And thank you so much for hanging out, moderators and everybody. Bye, Mom.
Thanks for all the super chats.
Thanks for all the super chats. Bye.
Bye.